You're doing some super cool stuff at your company I just heard about. I'm a fan. Could you tell me more about that?
Sure. I own Chris West Plumbing in Jonesboro, Arkansas. My whole model and whole mission has been to elevate the trades in our area and to try to overcome the stigmas that our industry's basically created. We've still got to re-educate the educator and re-educate mom and dads that there is an amazing opportunity in the trades. The other thing that my guys really stay pumped about is, in the service industry, each day is a new challenge, and we're constantly trying to figure out on this project, how can we reinvent the wheel? How can we wow this person? And our goal is to save possibly flooring or, and try to find the most non-evasive way to provide a long-term solution for the client. And so The guys, they really get pumped about the challenge of it.
This year's Connect show, put on by PHCC, the Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Contractors of America, was a total blast. We met and caught up with so many great people from our industry. What an honor to have some of them on Behind the Windshield with Dennis the Apprentice, where we learned a bit more about them, where they came from, how they got into our industry, and some of the innovative things they're doing to make our industry the place to be. One thing special about this show is that it hosts the PHCC National Apprentice Contest, so there were a lot of great apprentices in attendance. I wish you could have been there yourself, but maybe the next best thing is getting to know a bit more about our next guest. Christopher, welcome to Dennis the Apprentice Behind the Windshield at the PHCC Connect Trade Show.
Man, I'm glad to be here.
Isn't this fun?
It's fun, man. It's an honor to get to meet you and collaborate here with you.
Absolutely. It's an honor for me to meet you too. You're doing some super cool stuff at your company I just heard about. I'm a fan. Could you tell me more about that?
Sure. I own Chris West Plumbing in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and my whole model and whole mission has been to elevate the trades in our area and to try to overcome the stigmas that our industry's basically created.
Yes.
You got to lay them at our feet. So really my whole model has been to try to recruit good stock, good character kids out of high school. And we've even upped our game now where we're trying to do summer internships, whatever we can, talking to youth pastors, coaches to try to find, kids that want to make the trades a first choice.
Yes.
And so our whole platform, we started with homeschoolers. And so some of the foundation of my business, some of my core people were homeschoolers that basically they managed their education. So
Yes.
they were motivated people.
Right.
And so it's been exciting. And my whole goal from the start was to try to get our organization successful enough to where I could provide every benefit that anyone out there else in the private sector has, And so obviously a lot of companies around the country are doing this, but we've still got to re-educate the educator and re-educate mom and dads that there is an amazing opportunity in the trades. You don't have to sacrifice, happiness. And
Yes.
and so our whole model, they have great benefits. We train once a week. I have an amazing training facility. And as I told you, I can seat 24 techs around a granite topped conference table that's a round table that we meet at once a week. So they walk in a training room that is nicer than a lot of banks and attorney offices have.
Yes.
Because I want them to walk in with their head up high, and I want them to go home with, to their families happy and being able to step away from something and say, look what I did today. So work-life balance is real important with us too, and that's kind of laced in our benefits package. We have a very aggressive PTO plan, and so that's kind of the foundation of our success. Our people really make the difference in our organization.
We have so much to talk about. We're not gonna get done today for sure. Me and my partner, we probably about 10 years ago now, we decided to literally ban the vocabulary concept that you can't find good young people. And we decided to go find them and build them ourselves. We don't even look for other. We happened across good plumbers that actually were attracted to our culture, but we didn't rob plumbers from other places. We just decided to build our own, built our own training lab, started. And what was really cool, what we found, I'm sure you found it too, that when you get a young apprentice that wants to learn, most tradespeople, almost all tradespeople, I would think, actually want to leave a legacy. It's an inner thing they don't realize they have until they start passing on the information to a young person. And it's like taking a new construction plumber and he learns service and he sells a job for the first time. And it's like, wow, that was fun. Plumbing was boring for a while and it becomes fun to sell. There's another level when you're teaching a young kid that wants to learn that feeds your soul like nothing else.
It's an exciting time to be in the industry because technology obviously is laced in everything that we do. And the beauty of that is my younger techs, I mean, we throw the technology to them because they get it, and they embrace it, and even back on the education side of things and the recruitment, we even have an apprentice in our program that's a speech pathologist.
Awesome.
And literally I use this quote all the time. I said, so why are you here? Why aren't you talking to me? And he's like, because at the end of the day, I really couldn't find value. I couldn't see the value of what I was doing. He said, I couldn't see the progress in the people I was serving. And he said, I want to be in something where I can step back and say, look what I did today.
Yeah. And we go into people's homes and they don't have water, they don't have hot water, they don't have heat, whatever it is, no power. And we fix it. They're so happy. They give us money and they thank us. Oftentimes they write a review and you get to take that home. And then that's why I think we drive around pointing at houses that we worked on all the time.
Oh yeah.
Right? That's what we do.
Yeah. And I hear that from the guys' wives when we have oftentimes we'll have a get together where the families are invited even for the noon hour or something. And that's one of the jokes that the wives make. So yeah, once you marry a plumber, he's like, I worked on that house. Oh, that's a cool house.
Those are all people that we helped.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you never forget.
No, you don't. And the relationships you form, it's a rewarding thing for them. And like I say, my guys and girls, because I don't have any at the moment in the apprenticeship program, but literally sometimes we see them through their first car,
Yes.
then they're dating someone, and then they're going to possibly buy a home. And so to me, it's just been so exciting to get to build plumbers, but also mentor them into just very, very well-rounded, successful people that put family first. Now, one thing I will tell you in our organization, we're not a family. I used to say we're a family.
Yes.
We're a team.
Awesome.
We're a team.
Yes.
So,
and when you're part of a good team, one thing I hear about is like when someone goes in high school and they win the state championship or something like that, there's a longing to get back to that feeling all their lives that most people don't get back to. And so to provide that team experience, so many people are longing for it. And once they find it, they'll stay.
right. The other thing that my guys really stay pumped about is, in the service industry, each day is a new challenge, and we're constantly trying to figure out on this project, how can we reinvent the wheel? How can we wow this person? And our goal is to save possibly flooring or, and try to find the most non-evasive way to provide a long-term solution for the client. And so
Right.
the guys, they really get pumped about the challenge of it. And we also try to figure out where we can place them. So we're siloing, a lot of the tasks we do between service, residential remodel, commercial, lining, excavation, because literally, we want our guys to be fulfilled, like what you're talking about. And so really just trying to learn from them and communicate and listen to them and say, hey, what really makes you excited
Right.
to come to Chris West Plumbing and work, and so actually, and I don't always get it right.
Yeah.
Some techs are wallflowers and they won't communicate, and so I'm having to be a better leader in learning to listen more from them, and create an environment where they have the freedom to fail, but they also have the freedom to speak up.
Sure.
It's hard.
Yeah, I try to set goals every year with my techs. So every year I have 3, 6, and 12-month goals, and then 3 personal and 3 professional. And it's amazing how many people won't write down those goals, and I don't know why. It's too vulnerable or something. But the ones that do, like I was at my shop last week, and a lady came up, and I could tell she was waiting to see me, and I do it with all my employees. And she put her fist out, and she's like, "I'm debt free," and it was a Thursday. But one thing really cool about setting goals is it makes ordinary days special. And so that Thursday, I'll never forget. I'm telling the story about an ordinary Thursday. She paid off all her debts. But are you able to set goals, or do you find that too with apprentices? It's kind of hard to get them to participate in some of those things.
It is. And I don't know, a lot of that comes natural, to some of your team members, and some of them, yes, they're either reserved or, keeping, I call it leaning in.
Yeah.
And then, so in our training meetings, I like to see you leaning in. I like, if you're laid back in that, leather chair,
not engaged,
but oftentimes, it's a fast-paced world, and there's so much pressure on the younger generation because of just all the media hype over success and the car, and and so oftentimes it's very easy for a young apprentice to kind of just get stagnated, personally in their life, and
right.
and if that's the case, then it's gonna bleed over, into what they're doing on the job. So
yeah,
for sure.
Very cool. So how do you, I think what we're talking about is the result of a profitable company. Like, there was things that I wanted to do in my company, but I couldn't afford to. And so can you speak more about what does it take to actually get a training system in place, and like how to be careful about that? Like, we're talking about, these are things that probably everybody wishes they could do, but you've actually done them. So what's the key to actually getting that installed in your company?
Number one, because of the fast pace of the business, it's very easy to kind of wing the training and like last minute decisions. Okay, we're going to do this. So planning it out really is very important.
Making it a priority.
Yeah. It is. And, as business owners, a lot of stuff, we'll set goals, but it's kind of almost a Rolodex that comes around every once in a while,
Sure.
And so, obviously I make this joke with my team, but, I don't want Chris West Plumbing to be a place where great ideas go to die. And so accountability obviously is very important, and personal accountability, as an owner, to keep the bar set high and to provide them with the tools and the information. But on the training side of things, you just got to make it happen. I mean, we shut the company down from, we start at 7:30 and close at 4:30, because obviously no one gets off on time half the time, but that's plumbing.
Yes.
But literally, basically from 7:30 to 9 o'clock on Thursdays, there's, 24 employees sitting there, no income coming in. And so it's an expensive meeting, number one.
Yes.
And so you've got to be very intentional. You've got to make it count, for sure. It helps too every once in a while to, and obviously I'm excited about discovering your thing, including maybe a little small icebreaker thing in it, and in our training too, we also have, we kind of have housekeeping to where, what do we do right? What do we do wrong?
Sure.
And so literally you want to create, this is going to sound weird, but I call it a culture of vulnerability, to where it's okay for them to say, guys, I know how not to install this product. It took me 3 tries. I want to save, you know what I'm saying?
Leave your ego at the door.
That's right.
You've got to leave your ego at the door. And if you'll be vulnerable, you'll bring out the vulnerability in other people, and we can actually have an authentic, real relationship.
Right.
Right.
And that's how they can bring value to their team members, to save them so much time on the job, build our credibility because being in the industry, there's nothing worse than being on your heels with a client that's like, do you know what you're doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we need to call for backup?
Yeah.
So obviously, and as you walk this trade show floor, the products are changing so rapidly.
Yes.
That we're just constantly having to reinforce, training on not just the fundamentals, but also, just all the new products that possibly we don't necessarily approve of, but with big box stores, you're like, oh, here it is. I've got to work on this now.
Yep, absolutely. So you've been at the trade show almost a week. What's next or new for Chris West Plumbing?
So right now we've opened up a new venture on pipelining,
Okay.
and then we've upped our game on excavation. So for Chris West Plumbing right now, we're possibly trying to silo some of these divisions to where and track those divisions way more individually. So there's really I don't want any place where a high achiever gets overlooked, and I also don't want an organization where someone really shamming or laying back can hide under
Yes.
those. So HVAC obviously is in my sights, but as anyone in the industry would know, you've got to execute that well.
Yes, it's a whole different. It's a whole other business.
Yeah, and if your brand is strong,
Yes.
your clients are gonna, they're gonna come to you, but you've
Right.
got to protect the brand.
Yeah. You gotta know what you're doing and do it the same way you did the plumbing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very
For
good.
sure. Yeah.
Well, Chris, I could talk to you for a long time. Let's do this again.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
All right.
So that's a wrap. I hope you're inspired to make it to a trade show near you, or even put the 2024 PHCC Connect show in Birmingham, Alabama, October 7th through 10 on your calendar. If you can't make it, but want to stay up to date on what's going on at the shows, like and subscribe, and I'll do my best to bring the shows to you.